Good afternoon. My name is Angela Silima. I work with the Kenya National Commission for UNESCO in charge of communication and information. And we're here in Naivasha training female journalists on their safety. And this is part of a larger program under the UN Plan of Action on the Safety of Journalists, where we are targeting to train as many journalists as possible on how to protect themselves, considering that a lot of journalists are targeted in their line of duty. We have been doing this for quite a while. This year we're targeting journalists from Nakuru County, and we have gathered about 50 journalists from the county and around, where we have specifically targeted female journalists, considering that female journalists have special challenges that they encounter during work. We are looking at helping them acquire skills, strategies to deal with the different challenges that they encounter when they are in the field, and of course just challenge them and challenge the policymakers to collaborate so that we ensure the safety of journalists as part of promoting freedom of expression and access to information. It's part of a larger program. We already have had a session with police officers, and we're looking at a situation where we can have different agencies, government, UN agencies, journalists and media actors working together to ensure that they protect media freedoms, which are guaranteed in the Constitution of Kenya.
Obviously, as my colleague has mentioned, the Media Council of Kenya partners, works with KNATCOM and other agencies. The issue is obviously the issue of safety and protection of journalists, a global challenge we are seeing. And what has come out following the the anti-government protests that happened in Kenya in June, and looking at the numbers of journalists who have had attacked or intimidated or harassed, we are looking at a gender dimension that quite a number of female journalists became victims of the attacks. And we see, given the mobilization of protests in Kenya also changing, that like these protests were largely online managed, mobilized and managed, and a lot of journalists having left newsrooms. A number of them have started their content production companies, YouTube, the TikTokers who are journalists. We are also shaping and now giving them skills on resilience. We are not saying we'll stop attacks against journalists, but we are building their resilience and on how to deal with online, especially online attacks, and how they can minimize risks and challenges to themselves. And this is a global issue that is happening, but we believe, because some of these things also come by talking, some of the challenges they are facing are not things that were there before. These are new challenges we are facing, like body shaming, foreign information, manipulation of information, disinformation are quite challenging, but also trolling online of journalists. And that then means journalists especially must work on their digital hygiene, so that people then don't use images, photos they have used on even social events or their family issues to come and use them to intimidate and harass them, including their families. So we are having that interaction of how do we deal with emerging challenges, especially digital safety that are facing journalists, so that we minimize their effects and impact. But more importantly, also to allow journalists to start arming themselves with tools like how to maintain digital safety, phone safety, internet safety, and related and also online and trauma issues that come through virtual spaces. So this is a discussion that we have started. We may not give numbers, but it's a discussion that we have started that will go on for quite some time. So that because the number is also increasing, so we can't say we'll stop tomorrow or the other day, but we will do as much as resources allow, time allow. But we have seen there's a lot of interest from journalists, also from learning. Remember, we also have very young journalists who are just finishing college at the age of 24, who are starting their own media houses, digital platform, who are also now facing. So the interaction will also involve monetization of content, issues of plagiarism, issues of copyright, so that we build their we protect their vulnerability as we work on their sustainability and to make media a business they can rely on.
Okay, mi nina swali, nitauliza na Kiswahili lakini nitajibu. Ni kuhakikisha kuwa wanahabari wanapoenda pale nje kutafuta story ama kutafuta sources, kwamba usalama wao, wamehakikishiwa usalama wao wakiwa pale nje.
No, that's something we have talked about. We have had a interaction with media owners, with the Editors Guild and others, and saying they have a responsibility on as a manager, I have a responsibility on the people who I work with. So you can't tell them just go. So they have a responsibility to have in-house, and we are helping media houses to develop in-house safety protocols. Big or media houses, the bigger ones can make for themselves, but we are targeting content producers, press clubs and others to help them develop safety protocols. But the bigger thing is that employers have a responsibility to ensure their journalists are protected and go to work when they come back, they have a responsibility to ensure they are debriefed, they are cancelled depending on the issues they have. It's a responsibility even if you read the labor laws in Kenya that the employees, you have a responsibility. So this thing of dodging responsibilities and avoiding is wrong and must be stopped in this century.
Maybe the last one, can you say something about the Ketwanjeri story? How is it, the process with IPOA?
And maybe before you answer a question, maybe you can tell us the number of journalists maybe who have been attacked for the past 8 months?
There's a bigger number, which I need to check with my colleague, but I know it's the bigger number. Gen Z only was about 25, I mean the protests. But for a whole year, the numbers might be going to 80 or 70 number of cases. But as I mentioned, the cases are different. There's intimidation, there's attack, there's confiscation of equipment, there is blocking of their sites. So there are different sexual harassment. There are almost over 80 cases right now. Obviously, the Njeri case is going on. Once we reported it to the IPOA, they have taken it up, and the process is investigations. So they have assured us that investigations are going on, and we want to leave it for the investigating officers to do their work and give us their work. What we have also mentioned, which I need to mention, is that we must also, Njeri is now a target, and we must minimize following her and doing a lot of interviews. We are exposing her and traumatizing her more. So we need to also allow her and her family a bit of space even as the investigation continues, so that she settles, and we also protect her, because we can overexpose her to a level where now our stories become a risk to her life.
Thank you.